Hi, I'm Jeana Wirtenberg, author of Designing a New Landscape for Organization Development, The Living Organization. For centuries, our organizations have largely been built on a machine model. The machine has parts. It has inputs and outputs, and people are essentially cogs in the machine. Most importantly, a machine is not alive. It does not generate, regenerate, or give life to either its people or the planet. Quite the opposite. I believe the machine model may have been appropriate for the industrial age, but is no longer appropriate for the 21st century or beyond. In fact, it may be one of the chief reasons underlying the astounding lack of engagement we see in so many organizations today. Indeed, the perpetuation of the machine model is a deadening force with the unintended consequence that it can actually kill off life and kill off the life force in people and the planet. Here I propose a new model of the living organization based on the simple yet elegant symbolic metaphor of a tree. This tree was co-created by a small group of committed OD and sustainability professionals. Consider a tree. It produces oxygen, creates habitat, stores carbon, fixes nitrogen, distills water, builds healthy soil, uses the sun's energy to make food, creates cooling through evaporation, changes with the seasons, self-replicates. It's a living, breathing, regenerating, self-sustaining organism existing completely in harmony with nature and other living beings in its natural habitat and its surrounding community. We call this the living organization. We started out by deciding to look at our living organization holistically and organically. We wanted to veer away from looking at organizations through the typical lens of the organization chart with boxes and individual departments, sections, functions, and the inevitable silos that are so pervasive in organizations today. No more rectangles of rigid hierarchy confined to paper in the past. Instead, we wanted to invite the wisdom of nature into the process of envisioning a new living system. Rather than being descriptive or prescriptive, we thought about the power of metaphor to enroll others in imagining a new way of relating to the world of work. What could be more organic and holistic than the tree of life as an inspiration to shape a new narrative for business? Using the tree as a touchstone, we intentionally included design elements that could ultimately be applied to any organization to help shape a new, flourishing, life-giving vision for its future. Our living organization is rooted in a deeply embedded foundation, the highly valued and clearly recognizable eco-services that our planet provides. The tree draws nourishment from the soil, which is inextricably interconnected to the planet as a whole. The roots of the tree are sourced from this earth energy and help to create an enabling environment for human fulfillment and purpose-driven activity, fueled by shared values, guiding principles, and passionate commitment. This organism is alive and nurtured by the passion that fills our hearts, our minds, and our lives. Its fervor is captured in the values and principles explicitly designed to support and enable a life-giving, life-affirming workplace. Our values keep the organization grounded and allow our people to make the right decisions, even when they are difficult and fraught with seemingly undesirable consequences. We place the highest importance on triple bottom line prosperity to guide our choices. We understand that sustainable values around people, planet, and profits are the lifeblood of the organization. They shape the way we do business, make decisions, and interact with cohabitants of our ecosystem. These sustainable values help keep our workplace rooted in the context of the whole system, that is, the local community, the larger society, and the earth in its entirety. Just as sap flows through every branch of a tree, our passion and contagious enthusiasm flow naturally through the veins of the vibrant human organization. Our sustainable organization's vision connects to our hearts as well as our heads and our hands. It is spurred on by the deeply felt and widely owned emotional connections to the possibilities we are creating in the world. So it is no coincidence that the fruits of our labor are represented by passion fruit, which we associate with prosperity. The trunk of the tree represents what we do. This is where what we currently call our work occurs. But in our model, the word work is obsolete, as are the words job, employees, associates, and workers. What we used to call workers are now the people who co-create the products and services we deliver. The people we serve used to be called customers or clients, but in our model, we don't resonate with that concept. Instead, we serve people with fulfillment, purpose, values, principles, and passion, and we do things for these people out of our caring, compassion, and love for humanity. Whatever is delivered gets its nourishment through the root system, happens in the core, and feeds out from the people who do it for the benefit of the people we serve. In the old world, there used to be something called cutthroat competition, but that has nothing to do with this. Instead, we collaborate with all our stakeholders inside and outside our organization, especially the people we serve, our partners, our investors, and our community. We recognize our inextricable interconnection with each other and that no one ever truly labors alone. Collaboration is at the very foundation of the trunk of the tree to hold together, solidify, and unify all that we do. More often than not, we find that we can't do everything ourselves inside our limited organization, so we bring in partners and suppliers to collaborate with us. Just as the tree is a part of a grove of different species of plants, we mindfully share the meadow with other inhabitants. We coexist and co-create, and we are committed to helping them to flourish as well. To cultivate harmony in this habitat, we make sure our partners share the same guiding principles and values that we do, so we're all aligned and moving in the same direction. We are deeply ensconced in the local communities where we live. We are committed to being responsible citizens and good neighbors by giving back to the community to start and maintain a virtuous cycle. Frequently, we bring in members of the public to help us spawn new products and services for the people we serve. As I mentioned, rather than workers, we have co-creators. The co-creators are like parents who know they have the duty, the joy, and the privilege of serving others, and we try hard to never forget our reason for being. It's all about caring for and being of assistance to the people who need what we offer. So the purpose of the organization is to meet a real, authentic need experienced by another. And ultimately, it's the people who serve that makes up the sustainable business, not some abstract or legalistic entity. In our organizational model, the co-creator's mission is always clear, widely owned, and personally felt. People take pride in their work, just as master gardeners take pride in the gardens in their care. To help our co-creators produce what they need to produce, we design and implement systems based on a whole systems approach. To support the whole system, we create trellises of structures and processes so people know what's expected of them. Our way of doing things is communicated completely and frequently in an information flow that's multi-directional, up, down, and sideways. Because we're so busy doing all this, fueled by passion and expending so much energy, sometimes we all need to take a break. So we have a hammock suspended from strong boughs whose leaves cast a welcoming shadow in the heat of a warm day. In our model, the hammock reminds us to take time for renewal and reflection. We are mindful of what we are creating and how we go about creating it. We remember why we are doing all this and who we are doing it for, and we breathe. The fruit of our labor is passion fruit, or fruit of love, which we call prosperity. Caring for the fruits of our labor produces a feeling of well-being, joy, contentment, and fulfillment, which permeates the entire organization. This powers the organization in the same way the beams of light give energy to the leaves, which convert it to nourishment for the tree. Just as sunlight becomes food for the tree, love transformed into service becomes food for the soul. Those who work in our workplace of the future are like members of a well-rehearsed orchestra with a beautifully blended sound. Members listen attentively and constantly to adjust the pitch and the intensity to be in tune and balance with the ever-changing melodies, harmonies, and rhythms. In our organization, we are whole people. Music feeds our soul and accompanies the storyline of our lives. Music is represented by the little birds singing in our tree. These are bluebirds of happiness, which help bring us fulfillment, contentment, and even joy. And in our organization, we always remember to have fun. The source of power and inspiration for our organization is our spirituality. We are nourished by it and draw on it to enrich the organization and create a wider sense of well-being for all our people. At the pinnacle of our framework is a connection to whatever spirituality is for you. The divine, the source, God. It's the universal force that's in every one of us. The organization, as represented by the tree, is situated within a grove with many other members of the tree community. We understand that we have many different types, sizes, and generations of trees/organizations in this community of ours. It's truly a flourishing, diverse, and inclusive environment, unlike any we may have recognized before. Surprisingly, though, while we may never have noticed it before, these sorts of habitats already exist in nature, are ubiquitous, and happening all around us. Now that we're mindful, we are able to see and begin to emulate them. Here I have presented a kind of parable which, if fully leveraged, can help usher in a new landscape for OD practitioners. I invite my OD colleagues to use it to help build healthier, more sustainable, and flourishing organizations. The metaphors embedded in the tree can be used to ignite a new conversation in every organization, small, medium, and large, and ultimately to design an entirely new landscape for the field of OD itself. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy my chapter in Practicing Organization Development, Leading Transformation and Change.